Hey there, this is Chris, and today I want to share with you how to make decisions. Now, I'm going to share with you specifically one of my clients. I'm going to call her Jen, and just to keep her confidentiality intact. And here's how the discussion went. We were having a conversation about she's looking to move her offices, her corporate offices, to a different location. And having the, feeling the pressure of her previous location wanting her to sign another contract, but they're not done yet, and just feeling like this doesn't feel like it's really the right fit for me, but just wondering, how do I do this? And I found a new place, but can I trust it? I love this new place. I really want to be a part of this new place, but what if? And this is something that she potentially is always running in her mind. What if something else comes up? What if something better? What if I miss some piece of critical information? And so what she said is, I'm always looking for some piece of information that will make all the difference. I feel like I don't have all the information, and I'm always evidence seeking. So I said, let's look at your design. I want to show you exactly what is happening here and why this is occurring. I want to look at the shadow of your design. I want to look at what parts of your design you can trust. Okay. So I'm kind of creating this as both a case study and also a direct message to you, Jen, my beloved client, so that you can remember exactly how this goes. So I'm going to share my screen right now so you can see the chart itself, and then we'll be able to look at it. Okay, so here we go. This is her human design chart. I'm not going to go into all of what that is. You can look that up on my website for more information, chrisprochaska.com. But suffice to say, here we have this design, and I have pointed out a number of places in the chart that we're talking about around decision making and trusting what you know. And I'm just going to talk to you directly, Jen, right now, and y'all can just listen in to how this goes. So remember that there is a shadow in your chart, and there's a shadow in all of our charts, and it is in the white centers. Now we have shadow occurring, or challenges occurring, in the colored in or defined parts of our chart as well. But what I find is that the shadow really likes to live in the white centers. So let's look at what we talked about today on your call and how to remember all of this. So remember, we talked about gate 32. So you said, I go into the new place, the place that they're building out and they're working on, and that I feel pressured to re-sign a contract. And you go in there and it doesn't smell right. Remember, you're just like, it doesn't smell right. The bathrooms don't smell right. Something doesn't smell right. The whole building smells musty. And even though they're doing remodeling, that's a smell that you just typically cannot get out of a building, especially an older building in the city. So remember, we looked at this gate 32, and this is a gate. It's called the gate of duration. It's all about smell. And so, you're smelling, will this last? Will this deal, will this location, will this person, will this idea, is it going to go somewhere? Is it going to last? Is it going to come to fruition? And it's all about the sense of smell. It comes out of the spleen center, which is very much about our instinct and our intuition. And this one specifically has to do with the sense of smell. So yeah, you can trust this. This is part of your gift. It is part of who you are. And it's implicit in your design. You do sniff things out. Now, here's what else we talked about, is that this center right here where the orange arrow is the self center, or G center. And this is all about space. It's like an internal GPS. It's all about you in space and your environment, the space that you work in, that you live in, that you create in. It can be the space of a group. It can be the space of a collective. We're talking about working in a new space where you're working with a lot of different people, because it's kind of people come and go in this sort of group shared workspace. And, the vibe has to feel right. I mean, it just has to feel right. And you will create your best work there. And so when I asked you, truth, which feels more expansive and lighter to you to work in this new place, we'll just call R so that you know what I'm talking about, or T, which is the other space that's not yet finished, that you're feeling pressured to go to. So R is where you're at right now in the interim, feels great, feels expansive. And T is the older place that you're wanting to move away from, but feeling pressured to stay with. And you said, I feel more expansive. I feel lighter when I think about being in R space. And that's because this center right here, this center is all about that. And if you're in the wrong place and you're trying to create, it's just not going to work. It just doesn't work. Now, here's what we also talked about. You have the heart center defined, which is where this green arrow is pointing at. And this little heart center is small but mighty. It's directly connected to the self center, to the G center. So think about the heart center. Yes, it absolutely has to do with your heart. And is your heart in it? Remember, we've talked about this many times throughout our sessions, is that if your heart's not in it, you won't manifest shit. You will really have a hard time, because you'll be forcing yourself to do something that your heart is just not in. But if your heart is in it, and it's coming from the right place, and it's not coming from ego, but it's coming from that, you're called to do it, it's inspiring to you, you'll get so much done so fast. And because it's directly connected to the self-center, to this center that has to do with your environment, working in the right place, in the right environment, you're going to create exactly what it is that you want to create for your business, the way you're restructuring it, and the way that you're taking apart the things that aren't working and moving forward in the places that are working and doing more of that. Okay, so these are the places in your design that you can rely on. They're consistent and they're in your body. Look at that. Now, I also put in your authority. So down here it says emotional, feeling, clarity, patience. It means you need patience. You got to give yourself some patience to feel your way through things. And so I just marked that one also because, again, you got to give yourself 24 hours at least to make big decisions like this. But sometimes people are going to want to pressure you and make you feel like you have to make a decision sooner than that. What can you do? You can rely on these other sections of your chart to help you. They're not gonna make the full decision. You really do need to look at how does it feel. But we walked through that today. We really felt into what are all your options and how would you communicate that, and what is really going on here based on the patterns that you've experienced in the past in making decisions, and also where you're going. Okay, so let's look at the shadow really quickly. The shadow is up here in the mind. So we have the crown center and the mind center. The beauty of having these undefined is that you're incredibly flexible in your thinking. You have lots of different ideas, and you take all the information in, and you're able to sift through massive amounts of information and pick out all the things that kind of go together and synthesize them. There's some other things that are going on in your design that allow you to do that as well. But suffice to say, right now, just remember, you're just like an open book, open mind. You receive all kinds of information. Now, the challenge of that is that you can be very influenced by other people who, have other ideas, right? And this is where that pressure, these other people are coming and saying, you should do this, and here's why. And they come with very compelling reasons why you should do what they're telling you to do. And of course, your mind is like, well, God, I don't know what to decide. I don't know what I think. So I'll just go ahead with what they're saying, and maybe it's a good idea. But the thing is that what you're doing is overriding what you know to be true, which is happening down here in your body. And we talked about you have all the evidence you need. It's just not coming from your mind. The mind is designed to ask clarifying questions. It's not designed to make decisions. It's designed to do math, to follow directions, to read a map, and to ask yourself questions that will allow you to get to the truth of what you know. You know, the truth of like, hey, I'm going to go into that space and I'm going to ask myself, how does my body feel while I'm here? That's the mind. Use your mind to do that, okay? Trust what you know. Your body knows. You have enough evidence, okay? So the shadow of the mind is that it wants to prove, it wants to have evidence. And what you do, and you have a tendency to do this, and I do too, because I also have the open mind and crown center, is that I want to devour more and more evidence for what I believe and what I think and what I know. When in reality, what I know and what you know is coming from down here in your body. So trust that. You have enough evidence. You know how to do this. You've got this. Okay? So I hope you remember this. I hope you found this helpful. And if anybody has questions about what the heck I'm talking about here, or you want to look at your own design chart, reach me at chrisprochaska.com and let's look at your design and see how the decisions that you're making based on your design for your business and your life and your relationships, how do you do that in a way that you can trust and know and rely upon over and over and over again? All right. See you next time, Jen. Can't wait. And I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.